now with that, we have come to the end of our Sustainable Development Session 2. Let's move on to Session 3 to listen and learn more from our next set of powerful speakers. In Session 3, we have 5 speakers, and let's see who is next. Business leadership towards inclusive economy that works for all. Next, we have another powerful session by another powerful leader, Kimberly King. Kimberly King is the CEO of Human Tech Labs. Over to you, Ms. Kimberly, for your session. I think you have to unmute yourself. We are not able to hear you.
Oh, well, I was thanking you,
perfect.
Aparna, for the great job that you've been doing as our host and MC. And a special thanks to Santosh, the team. People can't see behind the scenes just how much work and leadership is happening in order to bring us together. So thank you. You know, I really enjoyed every session yesterday. And today we've built on that, but I also see some evolution in our tone. So I'm not surprised that this morning when I got up, I think an earlier speaker or two said that they had prepared slides and then they decided to more have a conversation with the founders. I heard so much important data and information yesterday that would have been redundant for me, that I thought, well, today we're getting even closer to the heart of the matter, talking founder to founder about what are we up to in our corner of the world and together as a force in the world to dare to take on the global challenges of an entire planet. Well, the first thing I'd want to say about that is no one else is coming. So if not us, who? I believe is a quote that we're all familiar with, but there's no denying that the challenges of our world are facing us and they are borderless. Not one of us singularly as a company or a country can tackle this, but together is the only hope we have for actually taking this map of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, that most of the countries of the world have agreed are the priority, and do our part as individuals, but really recognize the power of us as leaders. As I was thinking about this, the Global Founders Council Summit, and I began to be curious. There was a figure I wanted to know that I'm not sure I ever heard this in a global, and I'm sure it's an estimate, but I want to share an incredible number with you. So I researched how many companies are there in the world. Now, I'm sure that this is inexact science again, but the number that came out from a 2020 study said that there was 213.65 million companies. Now that number may have gone down since COVID, birthed new ones, and is birthing new ones every day. But that number, if we convert that to founders, we know there's a whole lot more in that number. But let's say that that number represented a single founder, someone who started something in their corner of the world. That number is a powerful force in the world if it only represented one per company. So I did some other research, and I'll talk to you, Aparna, because I like to talk to somebody. But I then wanted to know how many countries are there in the world that are 200 million strong or more? The number is 6. Countries like China, US, India, Pakistan. But here's the number that that I wanted to bring in perspective. If we were just one founder strong, one leader strong per company, and we are more than that, we would represent an economy and an authority greater than 195 countries in the world. We would be considered one of the most powerful countries, most powerful forces in the world. So if we're going to dare also call ourselves a global founders council and come together, it's important that we realize just how strong we are, especially when we work together. So part of my conversation today was, how do we create an economy that works for all? Because there's a lot of variables and none of us control them, from government to, I won't make the list, but I know for certain that each of us, our actions every day makes a difference. And if you are a founder and a business leader, your impact is exponential in ripple effect every single day. That's why this council and this forum matters. It isn't just to talk at high level about sustainability. It's to wake ourselves up and understand that, as they say, the heroes we've been waiting for are us. We are them. And you know, I sit in many circles, and I'll tell a little bit about myself because I decided to share my story as a founder. I started my first company when I was 21. Now, today that is not unusual, but I can assure you that when I was 21, that was an uncommon thing. And it just so happens that the business I started was solar. Now, I would love to tell you that at 21, I was so conscious of the planet and my impact that I made a choice to have a green company. The honest answer is that came later. I actually heard about solar as a business opportunity, and it made perfect sense to me. The sun was going to shine on our roofs anyway, and if we put this panel there and a little conduit, I'd get free energy for my home and my water. And at that time, there were subsidies that could also incentivize people to act on that, the consumers. Well, that was the birth of an entrepreneur. When I put that together, I understood that business could make a difference. Now, that fostered then my awareness of the environment and renewable energy and regenerative practices. But I want to speak to you not only as a human being who cares, and I believe everyone in this network and in this audience is that kind of founder, that kind of human. But we've been told too many times that business is the villain in the story, and you either make money or you do good. But I am here to reinforce the message of doing well by doing good at the same time. And that if each of us makes a conscious choice, not just to do what we should, sustainability is not a list of shoulds and should nots. Sustainability means I can do it better without harm to my planet, with doing good with the humans, the people in my company and my supply chain. That is not charity. That is a superior business model, a superior strategy. And we as founders and business leaders are the ones who need to change that story from business as villains to business as helpers, healers, and heroes in your community and in our world. Now, I'll go back to my own story. As I learned about what it means to be a business leader and to have people under my care, I also saw that I had a choice to make, because part of our topic today is about an economy that works for all, decent work for fair pay. I was encouraged by many of my peers to pay minimum I could get because I would reap more profits. But everything in me, even though I was 21 years old, it occurred to me that I should treat people the way I'd want to be treated, that I would never succeed without all of us rowing together. And if we're in the boat together, we should prosper with the boat. As simple as that may seem, and frankly, it was patronized by some of my counterparts, being too soft. I want to tell you that not only did everyone who worked for me during that first company and others since make more money than they ever made in their lives. And the reason I know that is they told me so, and I saw it. But instead of that costing me my place as a leading business, I'm happy to tell you that that strategy of doing good, treating people well, working in a collective win-win approach to business and leadership, our little office became #1 in the entire United States. One of the smallest offices in a national channel became the most successful office in the nation, not because of me, but because of we. Because without even understanding it yet as a young woman, I was practicing the principles of sound leadership, win-win economy, and working in a collaborative way in order to rise together. Those are really the messages I want to share with the founders today, that sustainability is everybody's job. So is the economy. But to the 200 million plus of us who are in the decision maker chair, in the initiator chair, if we resolve to take these SDGs seriously, if we resolve to not fear valuing people, instead of seeing how little we can pay, but we commit to the ethos of dignity, fair pay, trade, not only inside our company, but insist on it in every part of our supply chain. We have great power if we stand our ground and lead the leaders. The ripple effect would be immeasurable and immediate. A world force would be unleashed, and we would change the narrative forever. I believe that's what the Global Founders Council is all about, is to recognize our responsibility and our opportunity, that the greatest story of business is yet to be written. We can be the cavalry that comes. We can be, should be, and must be the heroes we've been waiting for. I believe business is an honorable and noble pursuit when it's done with integrity, intention, and more than one bottom line. Profit is an indicator, but people matter. Planet matters. Purpose matters. And peace is the result of getting every one of these pieces right. So Thank you for letting me share a little of my story, founder to founder. I hope you'll take my invitation and my challenge to heart. Let's join hands, global founders. Join the council, make a commitment, and let's be a force for good in the world. We're the ones we're waiting for. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kimberly King, for another very powerful session. As you said, 213.65 million is a huge number. And if each one of founders takes responsibility and makes a conscious choice, just imagine the impact we would make. The numbers you shared were so powerful. It tells us we are on the right track and we surely have a lot of work to do in the coming days. And thank you for your words of appreciation. It really means a lot to us to take our mission forward. Thank you so much for sharing your story and inspiring us. Let us be the heroes we are waiting for. Thank you.